If you haven't already, go to canva.live and enter in the code 273302. All right, so this feature right here is going to allow you to get insight from your audience as you are giving your presentation. So I could keep this up the entire time and you all could ask questions if you would like. You could just type them in and I would be able to see them and I could address them as you are asking those questions. You also could make comments on the presentation as well, and it would just pop up right here. So Miss Eisenberg wanted to enlighten me about chicken nuggets, and she said it.
That is what Gary would say if
he would definitely say chicken nuggets. So yes.
Sorry.
You're good. So yeah, I could also choose to, you see how small they are? I could also choose to just kind of ignore those if I wanted to as well. I like it. Since there's not like a large group, I'm gonna go ahead and end it for now. I just wanted to show that feature.
Okay. Chicken nuggets.
Let's see if I can do it.
It's fun. Is that what I could pick?
Who knows? All right, so we're gonna take a minute, and does anyone not have a Canva account? Everybody have a Canva account? Okay, sweet. I feel like most people on the hallway do, but I just wanted to emphasize, do not pay for Canva. There is a free premium version for all educators. So since we're good there, we will move on. Okay, so you will see on my screen right here that I have a timer counting down and the water is going down as it goes, so you can kind of see, oh, I'm running out of time. I just did that by pressing a number and it will set the timer for whatever amount of time that I want it to be on. So if I wanted a 7-minute timer, I'd just press 7 as I'm presenting and it would set that timer. You could also reset it and X out of it. But that is one of the features. At the conference, they called it hotkeys. Pretty sure it's just called shortcuts. Okay. Yeah. So anyways, I liked hotkeys because I could make it pretty and put flames in my letters, and I don't know why. But aside from that, hotkeys will speed up the process of your design and can make your presentation more interesting. So for instance, let's say someone did something really good. I could celebrate them with confetti. If I wanted students to be quiet, I could put the big quiet symbol up. There are all different kinds, and to get those short keys, what you can do is when you're presenting, there is magic shortcuts. It's right here. You can click there. And there are so many other ones. So they have timer, blur, be quiet, bubbles, confetti, drum roll, curtain, mic drop, all of them. So there are so many different ones as you're presenting that you can use. And also as you're creating, there are other ones that you can present as well. Those other shortcuts, I put a link right here. You can click on that one to get the other shortcuts. Like for instance, one of them that I use the most frequently is the slash key on my keyboard. When I click that, this will pop up and I can just press T and enter and a text box will appear. So instead of me having to go and click on text and then select the size, that's just a quick, easy shortcut to save you some time. Okay, moving on. Okay, this one, if you are creating things for several students, so like field trips, if you're doing name tags, if you are bulk creating things, this is a lifesaver. So bulk create is a new feature on Canva. And if I go over here and I'm going to select a name tag, say we're going to Ridgeland and I want to keep all of my kids together by homeroom, okay? I could go over here and select a name tag. Let's do this one. Okay, so what I would do from here is I would go to more and I would click bulk create, okay? Now, from this point, I have the option, I can upload a spreadsheet or I can enter my data manually. Our team already has a spreadsheet for Renaissance. So I just took that spreadsheet, and what I did, I just downloaded it as a CSV from Google Slides.
Maybe.
Well, there it is. Okay, yeah. I downloaded it, and I'm gonna click open. So now I have the name and the homeroom. So what I'll do is I'm gonna click where I want my student's name. So I'll click here, and when I click on it, I'm gonna click on these 3 dots. What that's gonna do is it's gonna allow me the option to connect data. So I'll connect the data to the name, but I could have 7 more options if I wanted. And then from there, say I want their homeroom teacher below their name. I'd click here, connect data, and go to homeroom. Okay, and then after I have all of my areas selected, I'll click continue at the bottom, and I can deselect student names. So on the field trip, say 20 of my kids were not going because they did not turn in permission slips. I could just go in and deselect those students if I wanted to. Then I would click generate, and it would generate all 76 students' names. So now I have name tags for all of our kids already done. You don't have to go in and do that. You can use it with other features as well on Canva, or if you could do it with other things besides name tags. Anything that you mass create with, that way you do not have to keep duplicate, erase, and type it in. So I thought that was an awesome feature that I found. Okay. Next. Smart mockups are another feature on Canva. Smart mockups will allow you to use templates to preview designs. So you could do a smart mockup, or you could have your students do a smart mockup. If you are designing, like for instance, a cup, a t-shirt, a computer screen for TPT, whatever it is, what you'll do is you'll go to your home screen, and down here, you're gonna see smart mockups. So I'll click on smart mockups. And you'll see here that there are so many different options for you to choose from. And I had, let's say I design on Teachers Pay Teachers, right? I could click on, maybe I wanna put this computer in my cover, which I do use quite frequently. So what I'll do is I'll select it, and then I'll put my product screen there. Create your own Poe-inspired narrative. Okay, and then I will save my mockup. If you have ever tried to do this without doing this feature, it's very frustrating, because what happens is you're creating your design and you have to make the image try to cover over it. It's just a lot, it's very frustrating. However, to use this feature is so much easier. So then you would just click use in a design and you would insert it in that design. It's so much easier than having to try to layer it and make it fit to the screen, because usually our slideshows don't fit on the computers or the image templates that are already included. So that was a very cool feature as well. You could have students do smart mockups if you wanted them to. They could design their own t-shirts or whatever, book covers, etc. All right, websites. So Canva websites is a new feature that I was very excited to find. It gives you so much more customization compared to Google Sites. If you use Google Sites, it's very simple and it's very user-friendly. And I think that, like, for students, there's a purpose for that. For students, I think that if you tried to have them build their own website on Canva, it would be very overwhelming. I could spend hours, weeks, months on building a website on Canva just because of how much I can customize everything. However, for us, if we wanted to do a class website, or if we wanted to upgrade our class website, we could easily create that on Canva. So what I would do is I would go here, I would type in website, and click there. There are 671 templates for you to choose from. And when I click on it, so let's say I wanted, I don't know, this one. So it has the template just like a normal design, but I could just add and it would scroll through and I could insert whatever I wanted. It's just like working on a normal Canva project. Okay, and you can also have it tab over where you'll click About Us and it will go to your About Us page. So to preview your website, you can click Preview and you can go through and see the website that you created on Canva. You can also start from a blank website as well. So that is how you would do that. And when you're ready, there's also preview from a cell phone as well. Mobile, you can see what your website would look like on a mobile app. You can also publish it to the web. Oh, hello, I just published that, I think. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, you could also publish it to the web, and when you go to publish it, you could select a free domain, or you could purchase one, or use your existing domain. So this would be a really fun way to create your own website. You could have students do maybe a blog post or something similar, create their own blog. However, if they did that, just be prepared, because just like we would get easily lost in Canva and all of its features, our students will as well. And for some of them, that's very distracting. Okay. Okay, so next is frames and grids. So for frames and grids, I used to be obsessed with like creating teachers pay teachers covers, and I used to see how like the teachers would have like their image in the circle and it would look all cute, and it used to frustrate me because I did not know how they did it, but now I do. So frames are really easy. If you see this image ever, that means that you can just drag your image over and it will insert itself there. So I selected the circle, but if you go to elements, you can scroll down and you can see all of the different frames that they have. There are so many. And then they have some like this where they're sectioned and you could insert your image that way, which I also think is really cool. So anyways, I would go and I would click my circle and I would go to my uploads, and let's put Mawala back there. I would just drag her over and I could adjust her in any way. And then she would fit like that. So you can do that with any picture, any design. And I used Harry Potter here, but that's just a cool feature that I also enjoy. Okay, this one is still in the beta phase, so they're still testing it. It could totally give you something that does not represent what you want, but it is something to maybe keep on your radar as they continue to perfect it. If you don't feel like looking for an image, you could do text to image. So what text to image is first, let's go and find it. So to get to text to image, you're gonna go to more, and then you're gonna click text to image, which is right here. Okay, and from here, you will see I could choose my style. And there are so many different styles. You have photos, drawings, scroll over, 3D, painting, patterns, concept art. And let's type in, you could go to apps then, and then click text to image. And you could describe the image you want. So if it was girl with a red dress on a boat in the ocean, and say I wanted it, I don't know how this will go, but we will try it. It's going to generate my image. Keep in mind it is beta, so you might get some really crazy things because they're still working on it. I might have put too much. Oh. It is.
I got something.
Yeah, I was very specific, so mine might take a minute. There it goes. So this one's the 3D art one. I don't know how 3D it is, but that is what I got for mine. And I typed in girl with red dress on a boat in the ocean. So.
Okay, what in
So. That's just fun to play around with, I think. I could picture several of our students using them.
I'm a little nervous about that.
Yep, exactly. Okay, this is a feature that I've started using a lot this year. I did not use it last year, but I can kind of tell you my experience from it. So students can create on Canva. If you give them a link for you, it will give them a premium account. So they do not have to use the basic account. However, I have not tried, like I don't know if other teachers have Canvas, how that will work. So what I did was I went and invited members, and the way I did that on my home screen, you can just click on invite members right here. And when I click on invite members, you have a share a link. I just shared the link with them on my class stream, and I put it on stream so students would have to go to that link to revisit it, because I'm not for sure if they log in outside of my classroom just yet. I don't know if it will give them those premium features, because some of them already have their personal Canva that's not premium. So I always have them go in through Classroom, just because that way I know that they're gonna get the
Did
premium.
you just share the link, or did you invite via Google Classroom?
I did not do it with Google Classroom. I just did the link.
Okay.
I didn't connect it with Classroom. I'm sure you could. I'm sure it'll just post it right to Classroom. But I just did the link, and they go to my home. So they'll go on my stream anytime I say, okay, you can do your presentation in Canva, and they'll just click here. And when they click there, I screenshotted what their screen looks like. This is what will pop up. And you cannot do, it is not Google Classroom, meaning like you can't have like a block 1, a block 2, a block 3, a block 4. It's pretty chaotic when they go to submit them, but we'll get to that later. So what I did was I just named it after my room number, which is room 813, and students will just continue with Google, and that way it's an easy login for them when they go to create. Okay, and when they go to Canva, if you have them go through the link, they can create anything, absolutely anything. There is a way for them to only do one thing. So for instance, if I wanted my students to do only an infographic, there is a way for me to only let them do an infographic, and it will post just an infographic, and I'll get to that later. However, when they go through the link, they can select anything to turn in. They can do a website, a poster, an infographic, a presentation, anything. So just keep that in mind. If you want them to do something specific, it might be better for you to post that actual assignment instead of having them do the link. Okay, when they submit, this is where it can get a little wishy-washy. Canva is far from Google Classroom. So this is what their screen looks like. My students, they did a presentation on mental illnesses. They had to predict a mental illness for a character. They had to click send to teacher. What that would do is that would send it directly to me. And it would email me and notify me that so-and-so submitted their submission. If you do this, you're going to find, let me go on my home screen. There will be a notification right here, and I'd click on it, and it is not organized in any way. Meaning my 4th block students, it goes in the order that they submit them. So if you do that, then just be prepared that it's not going to be structured or organized in any way. However, what you'll see is I can review them. So it says review psych eval by Shay before it's published. So I'd click on there, and I would look through her presentation, And if I liked it, I would click review. I could add feedback, and I would give her my feedback and click return. And it would make her go back and look at my feedback, and then she could resubmit it. So that's a good feature of having them send to teacher. But I don't think that I would have them do this for like a grade, but you could say, hey, send it to me if you want me to look over it. And then from there, we'll go over how to submit. Okay. So what do you do if you want them to submit then? What I like to do is students have the share button just like we do. So I would just have my students give me a view only link, or they could also change that in any way, but you could have them just share a link with you. I just open up an assignment on Google Classroom, and I will say, okay, you can create with Canva or Google Slides, I do not care. However, I need to have a link from you in this Google Slides submission box. This makes it so much more organized, and for me, I'm very structured. I just like the organization of Google Classroom. If I did let them just submit it to me, I can go to classwork in my home screen right here. So if they did submit it to teacher, if you didn't have them do the Google Classroom links, this is what it would look like on your end, and you just see like all of your kids. So I mean, it's not impossible to grade this way, but for me, I just like the organization of Classroom better. Okay, and then this is app integration. App integration, there are so many apps that are now lined up with Canva. I screenshotted all of them as of like last week, and here were all of them. So I'm not gonna go through all of them at all. That's way too much. However, I will go through Google Classroom with you, so that way you can see how that works. Okay, so say I created my presentation, and let's go to, here's one. All right, students had to create their own Poe-inspired narrative, okay? Now, normally what I would do is I would download this, and then I would upload it as a background to Google Slides, and then I would have to put my text boxes over it. However, if I did not have time for this, what I could do is I could click Share, Google Classroom, Continue. And what it will do is it will let me select my class. So let me go to 5th block, and then I can choose to create an assignment with this. Okay, from here, I might type in Poe slides, okay? Now, what this would do is this would allow students to go in through Canva and fill out that template that you just created on Canva. So my students would be able to go into Canva and they would see this. This is what they would see. However, it's their own copy. So if they mess it up, it's not gonna impact your copy. So if I was ever running short on time, I would probably do it this way, just because sometimes I don't like, planning just hits, it just flies by. So you could have them go through and, you know, fill out your Canva, and then they could share the link with you if you wanted them to. All right, and then that is about it. I kind of kept it short and sweet, so you still have about 20-ish minutes.